What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, say on this one. So I know we get pretty political here on this channel. I know we do. All right. I know sometimes, I go in my little phases where I'm like, hey, let's keep the politics away from the YouTube right now. But in this case, that's not one of those videos. So if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to hear some politics or some political shit, I guess you could say, or how I would say it, then head on out. However, stay on this one. So you guys saw the thumbnail, you read the title, and make sure the microphone's still on. All right. No, on my luck, it would have turned off. But regardless, let's get right into it. So this is a problem with Moms Demand Action. All right. Now, Moms Demand Action, if you guys don't know, is a oh God, dude, when I talk about this group, I actually laugh a little bit because it just shows a pure sense of entitledness, a pure sense of egotism from every single one of the members. All right. Just purely, they are all egotistical. Let's get into it. Moms Demand Action is an anti-gun organization that they are completely against the Second Amendment. They are against people owning firearms as a whole. They claim they only want common sense gun control. Honestly, they are one of the larger organizations that are trying to help push people against the Second Amendment. All right. Now, here's my issue with it. All right. They created this organization. All right. I believe Shannon Watts is one of the pretty high up members on there, if not one of the creators. I could be mistaken. She's dumb as hell though. But they all started this organization essentially to try to mimic an organization that actually did good. And that's what's kind of disrespectful about it as a whole. Let's ignore the fact that they're creating this organization solely to take away one of our constitutional rights. Let's ignore that just for now. Just for now. We're not going to let that go. Believe me. You guys know me well enough. I don't let shit go like that. I am petty. Let's continue on. So, ignoring for just a second that the entire movement of the organization is simply to take our Second Amendment right, a constitutional right, away from us. They're mocking an organization essentially that actually did something good. In all reality, they are mocking Mothers Against Drunk Driving. If you guys remember Mothers Against Drunk Driving, guys, well before I was born, drinking and driving wasn't exactly illegal. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people who absolutely loved to drink and drive. And, there are some people who still do it today. And of course, they're wrong for it. They were wrong back then. But the memes that come out of it are kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes. Regardless, maybe I just have a fucked up sense of humor. Back to the point I was getting at. I believe it's either Mothers or Moms Against Drunk Driving. They actually lowered the drunk driving fatality rate through their organization and through what they did. A lot of kids were dying because drunk drivers were running them over. And those are shitty decisions made by those drunk drivers to drink and get behind the wheel. Everybody, look, I'll be the person to say it, guys. I'm not the biggest fan of drinking. All right, I'm really not. Am I against having a drink here and there? No. Am I the biggest fan of drinking? Hell no. What I can tell you, though, is anyone at all, regardless of whether you've had alcohol or not, I could call my 13-year-old sister. I know she's never drinking before. If she has, oh God, she's going to catch an ass whooping from me, her other brother, my dad. Oh, you don't even know. Regardless. Sorry, I'm getting off topic here. All right. Even my own little sister knows what happens when you drink alcohol. You are not physically 100% anymore. When you are drinking and you are feeling the full effects of the alcohol, you are not 100% anymore. So what happens when you drive while you're drunk? Obviously, reaction time is slowed. You're swerving, a bunch of shit. So Moms Against Drunk Driving, was founded and actually did something good. You see what I mean? So to sit here and mock Moms Against Drunk Driving, an organization that actually did something good by being Moms Demand Action, and the entire objective of the organization is to strip us of a constitutional right is absolutely ridiculous. And I hate to be the person to say it, and oh God, my mom is probably going to watch this video and get mad as hell at me. But here's the truth of the matter. I'm going to be the one to say it. Just because you're a mother does not mean your opinion matters more than anyone else's. I get that, as a mother, you're going to have a more emotional opinion around something involving children because you have what's called a maternal instinct. I'm more than aware of that. So let's get that out the way. I am much more aware than that. However, your opinion does not matter more than everyone else's. I hate to break it to you, but us gun owners are fucking pissed when a school shooting happens. You know why? Because we think to ourselves, wow, this asshole just made us all look bad. We had nothing to do with this. We would never want anything to do with this. Are you kidding me? We feel awful for the victims and oh my God, are you kidding me? We feel awful for the victims and the families of the victims. However, we know that stripping our constitutional right isn't going to bring their child back. It isn't going to solve the problem. You see what I mean? And that's one of the big issues that a lot of people aren't, understanding, especially organizations like Moms Demand Action, is they have this, they feel entitled and they have this egotistical, just grandiose sense of oneself, essentially believing that their opinions have to matter more because they are mothers. So what they're trying to say is that if you're not a mother, your opinion doesn't matter. Even if you're a father, you can still be a parent. Your opinion doesn't matter. I mean, all it honestly sounds like to me is just that they they want to be the spotlight right now. And it sounds like a really shitty thing to say because when you think about it, if they are doing that, they're using, dead children to be in the spotlight, which is, of course, an awful, horrible thing. But just to argue against a constitutional right, thinking that you have more validity to your point because of your status as a parent, not just as a parent, as a mother, is absolutely asinine. It is ridiculous and it is completely unfounded. There's no other way to state it. There's no other way to just, I can't sugarcoat it. I can't beat around the bush. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is, it really pisses me off because the truth of the matter is that, I hate to say it, I'm also going to call it out. A majority of women don't know shit about guns. So do you think mothers, women who are extremely busy taking care of children, if they're active in their children's lives and aren't just deadbeats, do you think those women, have the time to sit there and learn about firearms and do things that a lot of people who aren't mothers or, maybe people who just aren't even parents as a whole, right? So my whole point I'm getting at is it's understandable that they're not going to have as much knowledge on firearms, especially as the pro-Second Amendment advocates would be. However, that's not necessarily the problem of us pro-Second Amendment advocates. Us pro-2A people, we are not required to inform y'all everything about firearms. The truth of the matter is that our society had no issues with teaching people how to be safe with guns prior to the last 20, 30 years. No one had issues with it prior to then. That's just the truth of the matter here. For some reason, within the last 20 to 30 years, just common sense gun safety, actual common sense gun safety, meaning the 4 basic rules of gun safety. You keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. You don't point the gun at anything you're not willing to shoot and destroy. Treat all firearms as if they are loaded. Know your target and what is beyond it. If you follow the actual common sense gun safety rules, there's never going to be a problem. I'm getting a little off topic here. I'm aware. My point, though, is that people who are anti-2A, they are already extremely uneducated on firearms as a whole. So the ones who are sitting there feeling extra entitled because they're mothers are probably the ones who also sit there and after doing something small like making fucking dinner for their kids are going to sit there and gripe about it and bitch and moan for the next 12 hours and do nothing else productive. I doubt that they're going to, one, even if they do something productive and they're just actually busy, they're not going to, they supposedly won't have the time to learn about firearms. They're going to push everything away too. But two, even if they're not being productive and they're doing nothing with their lives, I guarantee you they will still not go out of their way to actually be educated on firearms. These are the problems with, these, in a sense, just, I hate to say it, egotistical, dumb bitches, who happen to all be mothers, apparently, that they feel just because they are mothers that their lack of gun knowledge is okay. That because they have such a high lack of knowledge to such a high level. I'm sorry, but I get pissed off thinking about it because it's like, bro, who the fuck do y'all think y'all are? Regardless, the truth of the matter, as I was saying before, is simply that these dumb bitches believe just because they are mothers that their lack of gun knowledge is okay. And not only that it's okay, it means that they have a higher level of validity to sit here and shit on a constitutional right while conveniently using a constitutional right. That I'll get into, the irony of it. But, they'll sit there and shit on a constitutional right and believe their point has more validity just because they are mothers, when in all reality, they are more uneducated. They are the most uneducated next to, next to politicians when it comes to firearms. And the irony of it, and this is the funny thing that honestly a lot of liberals and anti-gunners don't seem to understand as a whole, is that you are using a constitutional right that is hold on. You were using a constitutional right to shit on another constitutional right. I know that sounds like, okay, yeah, well, whatever, it's a constitutional right. But here's the funny part. You're using your First Amendment constitutional right to shit on the Second Amendment constitutional right. But the truth of the matter is the Second Amendment constitutional right, the right to keep and bear arms, is what protects the First Amendment right. So what is the point of even shitting on the Second Amendment? This is something that not a single person in Moms Demand Action can give an actual answer to, because the truth of the matter is that when you break it down and you're like, okay, so you're advocating for taking away a constitutional right by using another constitutional right. What if we just advocate for taking this one away from you? What the fuck do you mean? When you use their logic against them, all of a sudden they are the biggest patriots in the world. They are all for America. And I know, rant video guys, I know, rant's almost over. But they will flip-flop any chance they can just to push their political ideologies of being anti-Second Amendment. Moms Demand Action isn't just a complete horrible group filled with honestly horrible people, in my opinion, because any people who would try to fight to take away your constitutional rights, I don't ever think they can have a objectively good sense of morality. You see what I mean? I don't believe that anybody who says we don't want you to be able to protect yourself, whether it be from a tyrannical government, whether it be foreign or domestic, whether it be from somebody breaking into your home, someone trying to rob or kill you and your family, whatever it could be, the fact that they don't want me to be able to protect myself and my family shows all I need to see when it comes to their moral compass and what they believe is objectively right and wrong versus what is objectively right and wrong. You see, so I just want to point that out here. Moms Demand Action, horrible group. They want to take our constitutional right away. And honestly, the truth of the matter is, I like how Brandon Herrera said it. Just because you let somebody cream pie you doesn't mean that your opinion matters more than anyone else's. With that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, Moms Demand Action. Y'all need to shut the hell up and go about raising your damn kids. Focus on your kids. Don't focus on taking our constitutional right away. Focus on taking care of your children. Y'all are mothers. That's what y'all need to be doing. Go make sure to check out all my other videos if you agree with me. Make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Y'all have a good one. Peace.